It was an ugly one, folks. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. We're going to recap everything you need to know from the Red Sox loss last night against the Angels, plus go through a bunch of potential trade targets if they end up being buyers at the deadline. But before we do that, guys, we are 50. I repeat, 50 subscribers away from 3,000 subscribers. That is our next major milestone for the Red Sox Rundown. If you have not already hit that subscribe button, what are you doing? We give you daily Red Sox videos absolutely free. I'm about to be in Boston, boots on the ground at Fenway Park for a few days. Don't miss out on that content. It's going to be a lot of fun. And if a trade happens, we will also make a video. So hit that subscribe button, join the family, and help us get to 3,000 subscribers. How's it going, everybody? Welcome back into another edition of the Red Sox Rundown. We're going to talk trade targets today, and then we'll recap the loss to the Angels. But an NL executive spoke to Mark Feinsand, and he talked about the Red Sox, and he said the following. He said, Boston should be in a position to hunt short-term upgrades to support their current 2025 team. Players on expiring contracts with some dollars remaining tend to be accessible for a reasonable return if an acquiring team is willing to take on the dollars. Boston can now leverage their newfound savings to pursue these types of opportunities across their rosters. So obviously, we're talking about all the newfound money that the Red Sox have gotten since they traded away Rafael Devers and got rid of his entire contract. Talked about this a little bit a few videos ago about what do they do next? What do they do with all the money? You could do a multitude of different things. You could extend Alex Bregman. You could extend Roman Anthony. You can, gear up for free agency and sign a bunch of players in free agency. Or you can take on some of these expiring contracts and make a few rental moves at the trade deadline, or make some longer-term moves at the deadline if you wanted to as well. So Mark Feinsand has a bunch of trade targets today for the Red Sox. Everything from first baseman to starting pitchers to relief pitchers. We're going to talk about everything Feinsand said the Red Sox could do with all of the money they saved in the Rafael Devers trade. But before we do that, I want you to get down below in the comments for me and let me know. Name a player that you think the Red Sox, is late at night, should trade for. Give me a name down below. There's a lot of very tantalizing options that we are going to talk about, but you let me know. Give me one name down below in the comments that you think the Red Sox should trade for. All right, let's start with first baseman. Mark Feinsand lists off 4 first basemen that the Red Sox could go after. A few of them I really like, one of them I don't like, but we're going to get into it. He lists Josh Naylor, Rhys Hoskins, Nathaniel Lowe, and Ryan O'Hearn. The 4 names that everyone's going to be talking about when you talk about potential first base options. Let's go one by one. Mark Feinsand had thoughts on all 4 of them for the Red Sox, and let's talk about it, because it's also going to talk about the money and things like that. Let's start with Josh Naylor. Here's what Mark Feinsand had to say about Josh Naylor. He said, the Diamondbacks are in the thick of a postseason picture in the NL, but there is a thought that general manager Mike Hazen could try to thread the needle between buying and selling between now and July 31st. Naylor has 9 home runs, 49 RBIs, an OPS of 830 in 72 games, and is earning $10.9 million in his final year before free agency. If Arizona doesn't believe it will re-sign him, he could be moved to free up some money elsewhere. So here's my thoughts on Naylor. If you want Naylor, I would wait till free agency. I don't think it's worth giving up draft capital, or well, not draft capital, but any capital at all. I don't think it's worth giving up any prospect capital or anything like that for someone that you can go after in free agency. I don't personally think that the Red Sox are going to re-sign Naylor. I do think he will test free agency. And if that is the case, you have the assets to, if you wanted to. I don't think it will be a bidding war, but if you wanted to, you could get into a bidding war for Josh Naylor. So I do like the idea of Naylor. He's not my favorite option, and I do think if that he is an option you want to go after, I would just wait till free agency, in my opinion. Let's talk about Rhys Hoskins. Y'all know he's my favorite of the bunch, but we'll talk about him right now. Here's what Feinsand had to say about Hoskins. He said, Hoskins has earned $18 million this season and has an $18 million mutual option with a $4 million buyout, leaving him as a likely free agent after this season. The 32-year-old has 11 home runs, 38 RBIs, a 757 OPS in 71 games, but he's hit at least 26 home runs in every full season during his career. He has excellent plate discipline, 92nd percentile in chase percentage and 78th percentile in walk percentage, and is an above-average defender. I've been saying this from the start. I think Rhys Hoskins is my favorite realistic target. He brings not just really great pop with his bat. He's an average defender, which is better than most can say that they are. He's got incredible play discipline which the Red Sox desperately need in their lineup, and he's got the veteran experience that not many people have. And I think that would be very valuable to add another veteran presence to this roster. I think that is incredibly, incredibly valuable at the end of the day. Sorry, I'm just adjusting my camera here just a little bit for you guys. I think that he's my dream scenario. I would absolutely consider it. Again, it's a little bit of money, but you have that money. You have that money from the Rafael Devers trade, so I would certainly consider it. But again, we'll see what happens at the end of the day. I would be interested to see what they would have to give up for Hoskins, whether or not the Brewers even want to give him up. Let's talk about Nathaniel Lowe. We did a video on him literally 2 days ago. I gave you my thoughts, but we'll talk about it a little bit more here. He said, Lowe's $10.4 million salary is the tops on the Nationals, and with one final year of arbitration left before free agency, that figure will only rise in 2026. Lowe has 10 homers, 45 RBIs in 75 games this season, though a recent slump has his OPS down to 670. The 29-year-old also has recent postseason experience helping the Rangers win a World Series title in 2023. The experience is great, but he has regressed every year since his best year of, I believe it was 2022. He's my least favorite of the four. I would not go after this. I would not go down this route. I just don't think it's worth it. I think that there are better options, which we have already talked about and we are about to talk about, that the Red Sox should go after. I think Nathaniel Lowe of the four is my least favorite and the one I think the Red Sox should steer clear of. And then we'll talk about Ryan O'Hearn. I think probably the belle of the ball this trade deadline, which I don't think the deadline is going to be that active. There's not enough teams that are clear sellers that are going to make it interesting, and there are too many teams that are still in the hunt that I do think it's going to be a relatively quiet deadline. But O'Hearn is one that could be interesting. Here's what Feinsand had to say. He said, possibly the best bat that could be moved this summer now that Devers has been traded. Thank you for that. O'Hearn has 10 home runs, 28 RBIs, and 862 OPS in 62 games this season, putting him on pace for a career year. The Orioles aren't ready to declare themselves sellers yet, but if Baltimore opts to sell, Hearn is one of a number of impending free agents that could be on the move. I think O'Hearn is the absolute dream. I think Hoskins is my realistic favorite target, but let's not kid ourselves. If you can get Ryan O'Hearn, get Ryan O'Hearn. I think that he's going to cost more, though, and that's why I'm a little bit hesitant, is what is that cost? He's by far the most tantalizing of the four, but I think you can get Hoskins for less. I think probably due to, him being a little older, him not having as good of a season as O'Hearn, and his contract. I think you can get Hoskins for less, but O'Hearn is the dream. You guys let me know down below in the comments. We're going to talk about the pitchers here in a second. Will the Red Sox trade for a first baseman? I think the consensus so far, at least from reports, is that they're going to be looking. Will that happen? Who knows at the end of the day? But I do think they will be active in the first base market, and I do definitely think they'll be looking. But you let me know. Y for yes if you think they will, and for no if you think they will not. I want to hear your thoughts down below in the comments. Let me know what you think. All right, we're going to run through the starting pitchers. I'll give some of my thoughts real quick, but spent a lot of time on the first baseman. Here are the potential trade targets that Mark Feinsand linked to the Red Sox. There's 6 of them. Sandy Alcantara, Zach Eflin, Tyler Anderson, Andrew Heaney, Zack Littell, Freddy Peralta. All the names that have been kind of linked to trade talks in general, and if the Red Sox are looking for starting pitching, it's probably going to be one of these guys. I really like Tyler Anderson, I really like Zack Littell, and I really like Freddy Peralta. Those are 3 guys I would definitely inquire on, definitely try to go out and get. I think that they all could be really big boosts to your rotation that this year has struggled mightily. Sandy Alcantara, though, is a huge question mark. He had the Cy Young a few years ago, but then he had elbow surgery, and this year has not been good. He's been better as of late, but in the grand scheme, he's not had a great season. Now, would that mean that maybe you can buy low? Maybe. Or what I think will happen is the Marlins will wait and not trade him so that they can maybe trade him in the offseason to get a better return. So I know that everyone's going to say, oh, Sandy. I would pump the brakes. I think that he's a major question mark so far and too big of a risk if you are still trying to buy and contend in the American League. So again, my three favorite would be Tyler Anderson, Zack Littell, and Freddy Peralta. Sandy Alcantara is interesting, but I would pump the brakes. I think that he's probably the biggest question mark of them all. Then we have relievers. We've got Kyle Finnegan, Dennis Santana, Jake Bird, and David Bednar. Those are the relievers that were linked by Mark Feinsand. Kyle Finnegan, not really interested in it. He has had a little bit of regression as of late. I don't really want to put that in the bullpen. Jake Bird is having a career year. That would be an interesting one to look out for. That is definitely a name to look out for. David Bednar, I didn't do the research, but I'm pretty sure he got demoted to AAA at one point. I'm not really interested in David Bednar. I don't think that you need him. Dennis Santana is my favorite of this group. He's had an excellent year, and he's cheap. Now, he did swing at a fan the other day, so that might not be great. But if you're looking at just pure baseball acumen, he's got everything that the Red Sox look for in terms of profile, and you're going to get him pretty cheap. But he is having a really career year so far. So of the four, I think Dennis Santana and Jake Bird are the ones to look out for, but I don't know if you really need a reliever. I think you just need your starters to go longer because I think your bullpen's been pretty good as of late. Obviously, last night is an anomaly, but generally, your bullpen's been pretty locked down. Of course, you would like some reinforcements, but Jordan Hicks will be up soon too, and who knows what he'll bring. I think the key components here are starting pitcher, first baseman, and then bullpen is probably the lowest priority. One more thing that Mark Feinsand also added when talking about what do you do with all the money. Prepare for free agency / Alex Bregman. This is what an NL executive had to say about the Red Sox's situation in general. He said, they're a really interesting spot right now. They could look to take on an expiring contract at a high price point and get through the season and help compete this year while still having the financial means to attack a Kyle Tucker type in the offseason. I think their newly found financial flexibility allows them a boatload of creativity. Yeah, but will Henry do it though? I think we've learned that Henry doesn't like long-term big deals. They went after Juan Soto. Juan Soto's a generational talent. I don't think they're gonna go after Kyle Tucker. I'm gonna say that right now. I don't think they're gonna go after Kyle Tucker. That's another left-handed outfielder. They don't need that. I do think there are enough interesting free agents that the Red Sox will go after, but it's not going to be Kyle Tucker. Just extend Alex Bregman. I think it's that easy. Yes, he's injured. I get it. His price might be a little bit lower now because of that. But he has been very valuable to this team even when he's been injured, helping with the young guys. This is a leader that you need for years to come, and someone that mashes at Fenway and was having one of the hottest starts of his career at the beginning of the season. So I would just extend Bregman now. And with the injury, I think his asking price might be a little bit lower than people think. So that's what I would do, but I don't know. Do you think the Red Sox extend Alex Bregman? If you think they do, type E for extend in the comments, or type F if you think he's going to test free agency. I still think he's probably going to test free agency. I don't think the Red Sox have the balls to extend him. So I think he probably will be a free agent. I don't like that because then you're going to have to get into a bidding war over him. He will probably be one of the bells of the ball in free agency. Well, I mean, he definitely will be one of the bells of the ball in free agency, and I don't want to get in a bidding war. I would just extend him now so that he doesn't hit free agency, but I digress. E for extend, F for free agency. You let me know down below in the comments. We're going to talk about the game here in a second, but again, like I said at the top of the video, we are 50 subscribers away from our goal of 3,000 subscribers. It's a huge milestone at the channel. That gives us more opportunities in studio and having the opportunity to make more content. So make sure you hit the subscribe button. I'm talking to you new viewers. If this is the first time you ever watched a video, Daily Red Sox coverage absolutely free. I promise you, you're going to love the channel. Just give us a few weeks, hit that subscribe button, and help us get to our next milestone. Red Sox lose 9-5. I'm going to be quick on this. This game was atrocious. So I didn't actually watch a majority of the game. I got invited to an early screening of F1, the new F1 movie. So I went to that. And I'm glad I went to that because this game looked, and I did watch the highlights. My dad watched. He gave me a whole rundown of what happened. And I did watch the last 4 innings of the game. So I actually saw almost half the game. But I got a rundown, and I'm glad I didn't see the first half of the game. Walker Buehler looked absolutely atrocious. He went 4, so he gave you some length. But the first inning was really the issue. 3 hits, 7 walks, 2 hit batsmen, 5 runs. You walked in. The Red Sox tonight in total walked/hit in 4 runs. You lose the game by 4. This team's not serious, guys. This is not a serious baseball team. Walker Buehler needs to figure it out. The stat, he has the worst ERA in the American League of qualifying pitchers. Walker Buehler does. I don't know what is going to happen next. I think a Phantom IL stint might be in his future, but we've had multiple Phantom IL stints with pitchers so far this season, and that's very frustrating. And that is exactly on Andrew Bailey and the Red Sox pitching lab. Why are you not able to make the adjustments? Walker Buehler I saw the highlights, he just couldn't hit the zone. He couldn't hit the broadside of a barn, and that's concerning because you need Walker Buehler. You paid him a lot of money. You need him to succeed. And if he's not succeeding, this team's not going to succeed because he is supposed to be a 2 or a 3 in your rotation behind Garrett Crochet, and that's just not happening right now. Your bullpen also kind of took a step back. Luis Guerrero looked really good. He gave you 2. No runs, no hits, only 1 walk, 3 Ks. He looked really good. Alcala came in and gave you a third of an inning. He gave up a hit and one strikeout. Garrett Whitlock, yeah, not great. Inning and 2/3, 2 hits, 3 walks, 4 runs. He walked in a run. He struck out a batter. The Red Sox were in this game until the 7th. The 8th. They were in this game until the 8th. It was tied. Tied going into the bottom of the 8th. And then the Angels score 4 runs and the game's over. So, Walker Buehler didn't set you up for success. And Garrett Whitlock kind of imploded at the end as well. And you walked in 4 runs and you lose by 4. It's just little league shit. The offense, while not a great game, you strike out 10 times. You did walk 3 times. You did have 9 hits. You scored 3 runs in the first inning. You started off incredibly hot, and then you had your balloon just completely inflated by Walker Buehler giving up 5 runs in the bottom of the first. But the offense showed good signs. Now, the situational hitting's not there. They had bases loaded, I believe, in the 7th, and they didn't with less than 2 outs, and they struck out twice. Like, that can't happen. But yeah, everyone basically contributed except for Marcelo Meyer. Meyer went 0 for 4 with 2 Ks, but Duran had a hit, Toro had a hit, Anthony had a hit, Story had 2 hits, including a home run, which was huge. Connor Wong got his first RBI of the season, which was crazy. Like, your offense did enough to win this game. You scored 5 runs. On most days, that will win you a ball game. But when you walk in 4 runs, it's just not going to do it. So the Red Sox played another little league-ass game, and they lose once again. They're back at 500. The Yankees lost today, so you didn't lose a game in the division, but you did lose a game in the wild card. So that's absolutely great. We're back to mid. I'm not going to call it yet. We need to see how this road stand ends because then the schedule will kind of get a little bit easier as we go. But if you're playing baseball like you played last night, you're not a playoff team. You cannot have your starting pitcher give up 5 runs in the first inning, walk, 7? That can't happen if you want to be a playoff team. And, the Red Sox let us down today. It is what it is, but go win the series. You got Crochet on the mound today. Whenever the Red Sox need a vibe shift, he always delivers, so I hope he delivers again today. That's where I'm going to end it, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. Do the Red Sox win this series? Let me know in the comments. Just type yes or no in the comments. I want to hear your thoughts, and that's where I'm going to end it. Thank you all so much for watching. Again, make sure you subscribe, and until next time, go Sox.